My grandma told your grandma.
Gonna set your flag on fire.
My grandma told your grandma we're gonna
I don't know. Maybe I had my words wrong.
talk about hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Aiko.
Oh, nay.
Oh, Giacomo Fio Anane. Giacomo Finane. Giacomo.
Fina, nay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Out About Podcast. I am Patrick, and you all know my co-host, Chile.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, and as you may or may not notice, today we have a sit-in for Jerome Barrow. We have the one, the only, Mrs. Buttersmilk.
Oh, hey, everybody. How are you?
I'm doing fine. They can't.
I'm doing great.
I know
too.
they can't hear us.
Respond back to you.
But what a great day.
Fabulous day.
Oh, man.
Oh,
It
amazing.
feels like we're getting stuff accomplished. We're kicking butt. We're taking
Yes,
names.
we are.
We're going to
Yes,
trucking
we
schools.
Handling business.
It was hot out there.
It was a little.
It was
Is,
comfortable.
is it really hot or is it like a little mildly warm?
Mildly warm.
I think
I thought
mildly
it
It
was
was
warm.
very
muggy.
comfortable.
Those clouds hung out all day, and
Muggy?
they
Where
didn't,
were-
You
where
call
were
that
you?
muggy?
and they didn't do anything.
Where were you?
She was in Jamaica, but
she
still.
was, apparently, because I didn't see a cloud in the sky. It was nice, 72 degrees, a little breeze.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Where were you?
Beautiful. Columbus. In the
Oh.
yard.
In a
Doing my
truck?
thing.
72 in the truck?
Let me just say, today we had a heat warning,
Yes, we did.
heat advisory, and I knew it was gonna be warm, and I went out to storage. It was overcast, had a breeze,
yeah.
and I was like, "This isn't really all that bad."
Open
kinda-
the door out of the car.
Well, no, I'm saying even when I got out,
Okay.
at noon or whenever I got there, I was like, "Well, this isn't terrible." I thought it'd be brutal, and then I had to take those trucks out. I had to take that truck out to Cap City, and I got out there on their freshly poured
Yes.
black asphalt
Yeah.
Oh,
parking lot,
Ouch.
and we stood out there to show this truck, and all the clouds left, and it was full direct sun, and it was 197 degrees on there.
Nice and hot.
And I was like, "Oh, this is not what I bargained for."
There was one point today where it was 86 degrees was actual temperature, and the heat index was like 102.
Wow.
Yeah, on the parking lot of Capital City Trailers.
At the yard, even.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going to rain all day. You know, almost like, when you got that tear going to drop down your
Yes.
face. It's kind of how the clouds were all day. They're like, oh, we want to let our rain go, but never mind.
Yes,
There was forecast of thunderstorms at like 3, 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
I saw that.
and those forecasts just went away. I think it was just so hot, the
Well,
water just
It was,
dissolved.
but it was the complete opposite. I mean, it was supposed to be beautiful this morning, and
Right.
then get so hot it would create storms. Instead, this morning it was cloudy as
Yeah.
all get out, and then when it got really hot, it got really clear, which was very strange.
Very
I was
strange.
not. I really thought that we were going to see the bottom fall out because
did,
of how
literally.
hot it was, but
Yes.
beautiful. I saw my hometown of Baton Rouge in a couple days. They're going to be 103. It's like 100, 102, 102, 103, 103, 102, 101. I'm like, those people, like, I know Louisiana's hot. It ain't that hot. I feel bad for them. I feel really bad.
That sounds hot.
Especially when you factor in like 90% humidity.
yeah.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah. Miserable. So, our thoughts and prayers are with
Well,
the good
shoot,
folk of Louisiana.
it's 88 degrees outside right now. With the feels like 98.
Wow.
But 98's not really that hot if you think about it.
No, once it gets over 100, we're getting hot. But it's 98 now. We're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
I feel like there is a point where it is just so hot that it doesn't matter anymore. Don't you?
Yes.
Like there is a point where the heat just kind of
95 maybe. Maybe 90.
yes, not a hot.
After 90, it's like
Just
it doesn't
hot.
really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
pick a number over 90.
Yes. Well, and the sad thing is, it's not humid here like it is in South Louisiana, but it's still a little humid. It's not that dry heat that you get out in Vegas or
No,
out in Phoenix area. You
No,
actually
not at all.
you feel this a little more than you would out
I
there.
think so.
And the sweat doesn't evaporate.
No, it just
It
sticks.
just stays on
Yep.
you. Oh, it's brutal.
Yep.
But still got a lot accomplished. Making waves.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Got some good things coming. We got a bunch of teams seated right for Expo.
Yeah. Right after Expo too.
Right after Expo, yes. It's been busy, busy, busy. We went through the list over the next couple weeks with Kelly, and it's like, oh, all right, well, we got work ahead of us.
Mhm.
But it's good work.
Yeah.
Love it. Still collecting all those brand new trucks But anyways, so Buttermilk,
Yes.
what brings you in today?
Well, our good friend Jerry or Jer Bear is just feeling a little under the weather today, so I agreed to come and sit in and play his part of just sitting in his chair because I don't know how to do producing. So here I am.
Well, you're doing a great job so far.
Thanks. I'm just here to keep y'all under control. I think that's all he really does most of the time, too.
Does he do that?
I don't think so.
That's news to me.
I'm teasing. So anyway,
he may try, but I don't think he's ever been successful at it.
he's dearly missed. So
He is dearly missed.
So he is dearly missed. Jerry,
yes,
Jerome Barrow,
yes.
you are dearly missed.
Yes.
Yep.
And have fun editing this.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be a good time.
And people don't know he live edits some of that stuff. So when you switch between camera angles and stuff, and getting all of our stuff dialed in, he's doing that on the fly. Of course, on this now we only have one camera because we don't have him here,
Right.
so he won't have to worry about that. But
The material will all be fresh.
he'll be like, they said what?
If I have to listen to it one time through and then go back and edit, is the way I picture him doing it.
Well, we plan on recording tonight for about 4 hours, so
Yes.
he'll have lots of content.
Lots
to
of
go
content.
Nice. Nice.
You're welcome, Jerry.
He's got to
We
bring it
miss
down
you.
to 45 minutes.
What a great get well gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing like, getting over being a little under the weather and then immediately having tons of work.
Yeah. Nothing
Right.
like it.
That's the best. That's the absolute best. But no, so since we have you on
Yes.
and you're hanging out with us,
Uh-huh.
and we're super excited about that,
Oh, thank you.
we would love to know, how are the schools going? So if you don't know, Buttermilk has started a project where she's actually going to driving schools, and she is talking to people about what expediting is, what Hyfield brings to the table, career opportunities outside of driving a tractor trailer, and you've now been doing it for several months.
Yeah.
And you've really kind of got your spiel down nice.
I do.
So tell us about it. How's it been going? Have you seen it change any? Have you, anything like that?
I have seen it change quite a bit. I'd say first and foremost, I think showing up consistently and having a great presentation has definitely vetted Hyfield. And so therefore the schools are more apt to talk about our company. And that really makes me feel good on that end, that we're presenting in a good manner.
Absolutely.
But definitely the students, I mean, they're on rotation, but mostly I'll do to the newbies, and then by the time I go back again, those newbies are maybe in the driving portion of their schooling. They may catch some of my spiel again, and they're really excited. They're like, hey, you were here a couple of weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it, and I think I found a partner, and can you provide me some more information? But definitely putting it out there that there's something different than the mega carrier, because most of the time I think it's mega carriers definitely that have all their posters on the wall, and pushing for that. So to say, hey, there's something else out there that you could maybe do, people are very interested in it. So we actually applied one of our first teams last week, I think, just before Expo, and I'm really excited to see, the fruits of the labor paying off. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, but no, I've really enjoyed it. The scenery going to some of these schools is quite interesting. Not all of them are off the outer belt, and it's just it's a nice drive,
Yeah, I
So
certainly understand that, because for the most part, you rock an office chair,
yeah,
and you kind of get used to seeing the same thing over and over and over every day. And
sure.
the exciting break is letting Annie outside.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing is some of the instructors kind of hit me up on the side. They're like, hey, what does this take exactly? Because most of them go grab their own lunch or go have their own break while I'm presenting to their students. But, of course, it's just a good time. I have a presentation that I'm doing. It's on a thumb drive, and part of it is the infomercial or the commercial that Jerry put together, which is phenomenal.
Very nice.
It does showcase the tractor. I have to kind of remind them that that's not, you'll have to work up to something like that because you're all newbies. But
Yeah.
it's just, we're putting out quality content, and the information we're giving is really great. And even if they're not on board or don't have a teammate, I just feel that they're going to be sharing the information with other people they may know.
Well, I love the evolution of this. I love how you've gone from, starting out by literally saying, Patrick, what do you mean to talk about these schools? And I'm like, I don't know. have fun.
Right.
To now you've got this presentation down. You've got the infomercial that you do post for them that Jerry made. You do have all of this working towards what you're doing to the point now that I know you've stepped back. And I remember last week we talked about it with Jerry that you want to remake the infomercial.
I do.
You've been in it long enough now, and we're getting good feedback, and you're getting good information of saying, hey, I need to correct this. I need to fix this. Hey, these are the questions they're asking. Let's go ahead and do some of that in the videos that you didn't have when you first made it.
Right.
We were kind of shooting dark on the first go at it, but now the revision is going to be with a lot more intel, and it's exciting to see that process work and that ability to also come up with a second video. I mean, that's one of the great things about having Jerry on staff is he's able to help us out in all various aspects, not just produce a podcast, not just build websites, not just do some video editing on the side, but also go in and make whole new infomercials with input, with, hey, here's where we want it to be fixed. Here's what we want to change. It's very exciting.
It's really been eye-opening, and then maybe even just more on a personal level. A lot of these are small towns, communities, and they've already got a job with a mom and pop place, and they just need to get that CDL or their parents' dairy farms or things like that. But to show them, that maybe there's something bigger out there, should they ever want it, that maybe they could go travel a little bit and get paid to do it kind of thing. So
absolutely
putting the seed in their brains.
Absolutely. That's the exciting thing.
Yeah.
When we do trade shows, when we do marketing or people listen to this podcast or they watch one of our YouTube channels and maybe they watch one video and they forget about it, right? Or maybe they sat through a presentation at a CDL class and they forgot about us. You never know, like years down the road, if that's not going to then progress into, I kind of got this itch that, and I want to go out there and do it. And it's because I learned about it from y'all, or I watched this one video, or this one person came and spoke in my class or what have you.
Yeah.
So some of that stuff has long legs. It's not necessarily what person can we put in the truck today as much as it is a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now.
Think about people that are going through school right now that might have a family at home.
Sure.
And the wife or husband can't go on the road with them or but right now because they have a family at home and then somebody has to take care of the kids. So 10 years from now when those kids are grown,
absolutely,
maybe the partner comes on the road with them because now they're empty nesters, they can do that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's a long game, certainly.
I forget if it's your team or not, but we have a team that is 2 years out.
Yeah.
It is mine.
Okay, now, and I remember talking to you like 2 years out. How in the world can you say I'm 2 years out of something? Like that's crazy to me. And then she was like, because they have a kid.
Yeah.
In 2 years they'll graduate. And I'm like, well, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's not something I ever thought about, right?
Yeah.
And they have a schedule and a plan too. They're like, okay, we're not going to get endorsements quite yet. We're going to wait a little while on that and all of the things. So, I mean, they've got like a timeline and they just unfortunately can't quite jump on it. But yeah. The schools have been great. We don't know very many people in Columbus, right, outside of Hyfield that live here. And it's fun to be out there in the community and one of the students go, hey, and wave. And I'm like, who?
Yeah.
And I have to like quickly, where did I see them? Or there's another school that actually does their testing at a different school. So they basically share a test site, but two different schools. And I'll be presenting at the one. And the students will walk up to me and go, hey, can I get another flyer? You came to my school back in Columbus and I lost it and I'm interested. And so to be recognized is pretty cool that they're associating, I guess that maybe I wear the same thing. So maybe that's it. And then the presentation maybe I put together and they remember that. So.
Well, that is very cool. I could see people listening to the presentation, getting a flyer, maybe being like, not for me. They throw it away on the way out. Get home, talk to their significant other, and the other person is like, wow, that sounds interesting. Maybe I can consider that.
Sure.
What company was that? And they're like, I don't remember.
Right.
And
so I could see that.
So the next time they see you, it's like, oh, good. I need more information because I don't, I mean, I've had that happen. I've been to these trade shows, not where I've thrown like a business card away, but like I just misplaced it or it's in a suitcase and I don't know where that's at or whatever. And it's like, what was the name of that place? And who was that person? Especially when you have a person.
Yeah.
Not just a company, but you have a person, like a point of contact is massive.
I've gone through like the directory, the on the website of a trade show because there was something that I thought about, like, I probably don't need that and didn't grab any documentation or anything and go back 2 weeks later and go, okay, I should have picked something up. and go back through and scan and go, okay, what was their name? It's kind of, oh, there it is, and just pick it up. So
yeah, it's been a good time.
Well,
I enjoy doing it.
That's awesome. I know it's I like that we're getting all this data and we're finding out what works, what doesn't work. How do we schedule these schools? How many schools do we schedule? Because there are enough schools in the immediate area around. So one thing we're learning with all these schools is that there are so many of these schools in the Columbus area that you could spend your entire week, every week,
I could
going school to school to school to school to school. And as much as we would love that, we're not Swift or Schneider or one of the big companies. Yeah. And so that's not really a great use of resources. So one of the things we've been chatting about and trying to work out is what's the proper schedule? How do you decide? How often do you go to school? How do you not? I do like a couple of your schools have you going like between classes. Is that right?
Every 2 weeks. So it's basically when a new class starts and that other class is out in the yard. So that's kind of how they have me rotating. So that may mean that class that's in the yard is seeing me for a second time. So sometimes their lunches overlap by a little bit. Sometimes they take the same lunch. Depends on what school I'm at. But sometimes they get to come in and watch the presentation again. And they still raise their hands.
Yeah.
They have follow-up questions. They've had time to process it for 2 weeks, maybe check out our website, those kind of things. But,
absolutely.
And then I've got others that I think they're more traditional college than not a college, like a dot
college versus
like a dot edu kind of thing,
like a community college,
yes.
not
and so I think,
not a truck school.
Thank you. So I think their programs are more 4 weeks because I know those schools are on every 4 weeks that I'm going. So again, I'm not necessarily getting repeat students on those.
I see.
So a little different how they all work. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's got to be cool too, kind of learning how these schools work. And then for those of you who don't know as well, a lot of people go to school. They get scholarships or are sponsored by a major trucking company,
right.
And so they're kind of if you do that, it's a way to go to school for free, but you are off limits. You're committed to that carrier for a year or more, depending on what your contract you sign is, and most of your carriers will honor that. So if you skip out and say, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm actually going to go do something else with another motor carrier, most of the time when they do the school reference or the background, or not the background check, the employment reference, and they see that, they won't touch you.
Yeah, well, there's precedent for those mega carriers that offer those programs.
Yep.
Filing litigation against a carrier that hires somebody who's still under contract to them. So,
sure. Well, I have a lot of people too say, I'm getting my CDL that way, in that manner, but I would definitely consider doing this afterwards, and maybe by then I can find a partner or whatever their verbiage is. So they do know they need to honor that contract.
Absolutely, and it makes sense. It's not a bad route.
No, it's not.
It's not. It works for a lot of people. It is a way to go and pay for expensive school. So I certainly understand it. For me, the lifestyle that this brings always justified the expense to be able to do it, or the avenue I had to take to get to it.
Sure.
So that's why I always went the way I did. You go out there, you sign your life away for a year basically to go to school for free, and then you do exactly what they say for a year. Yeah. And that may mean that they run you as hard as they can for as cheap as they can. You're not getting the cents per mile advertised on the side of the trucks. You're getting a much lower
because you're paying for that school through the rest of it. Yeah.
So you're either running like crazy because of it, or if they don't have any freight, you're just sitting. Yeah. But you still got to be there and wait.
And
so
you're not getting paid.
Yeah. And so that part of it always made me go, no, I'd rather go a different route.
Right.
But if you have no other options, it's an option.
I feel like a lot of people are maybe that way that I meet, but as you know, I'm a social butterfly, and I think that's thing. I know, right? That's what I get joy out of most going. It's not necessarily, it's the staff. The staff at all the locations that I go to are really great, and mostly it's dominated by men, which I I think it's pretty cool. Retired older truckers now being instructors.
Okay, so you're getting a lot of stories and history.
Yeah, history.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think it's cool that they're interested in what we're offering, and you drive a truck. You drove, because I'd share my story how I drove on the Panther side, and then the students who are totally making a life change. I've been there. I've been in their seat, and how excited you are, whatever direction you're going. And then here's something completely out of the ordinary, oh, I didn't even think about that for a job, or there's a small truck, or team driving. Team driving's the biggest thing. That blows people away. What? I can team drive? I mean, that blows me away.
It's funny when you said most of the instructors are men.
They are.
And then you said that's kind of cool.
It is.
Patrick and I both looked at each other like, that seems odd to say. But you were saying that the stories you're getting from them are cool, that they're recognizing that we're doing something different. So today's class, you were telling me at home before we came for the podcast that it was different today than the other classes you've had. How was it different? What was the big difference?
So I rolled into the school, and the receptionists are like, I've got something to tell you. She says, this class has a very large amount of, women in it taking the class this time.
That's cool.
And I'm like, really? So I was really excited. I gave my presentation, and at the end, I always thank the class, for their time, because they don't have to spend it with me, right? And I thanked them, and then I'm like, okay, guys, close your ears. I said, it's really nice to see all you ladies out here getting your CDL, go girl power. And it was really cool. And then as I went around and passed out the brochures that we have, and then my business card, there were actually a couple of them talking about being a female CDL driver. And I'm like, well, again, I am one. And then I'm like, I was the night driver, and things are a little different, and just kind of, more casual talk as I'm passing out brochures to 13 students throughout a classroom. There was a lot of cool talk between the ladies, about how that is different. I think the men might have had some comments to the women. I wasn't maybe necessarily privy to those because answering some side questions, but it was really cool. It is probably the largest class I've seen. It was 13 students, and I would say probably 8 or 9 of them were ladies.
Wow. So
the one in the dress she cracked me up. They've all got the long flowing hair and the big nails, and I'm just like, girls. It can be done out there over the road, but they definitely have.
You're sitting there going like that they're gonna do that for a week, they're gonna do that for 3 days.
Right. We had a whole porta potty conversation outside because, again, as we mentioned, I lead off in my whole presentation with the infomercial showing the lovely 150-inch, tractor that's got a bathroom in it. And then once they go out and they hop in this, look at everything. It's not a bathroom truck that you're going to get right out of the gate. And I'm like, but a porta potty works perfect in one of these. And
yes,
So.
Well, I know I've said it on the podcast before, but Eric and I, like when we went up to Green, Ohio to jump in our truck for the very first time, that's exactly what we did. We brought, in the back of the car was a Bedford something porta potty.
We did the same thing.
Oh, well, so was yours, did you buy yours new?
No, we bought ours used. So we were going to Medina.
Excuse this judgment.
I get it. And I'm hopefully going to clarify the whole used comment. Okay. We were in Medina for our Panther orientation.
Yes.
And Melissa found a guy on Facebook Marketplace that had 2 for sale. And we go to his house, and one of them was obviously used.
Yeah.
The other one looked like it was brand new. It still had the cardboard around the lid. And in the cardboard was the holder for the introductory
Blue goo.
Bottle of Blue Goo.
Oh, yeah.
So it had never been used before.
Yes.
We chose that one.
Okay, that was probably one.
Yeah, we chose that one.
So back in the day when I was like in middle school and high school, we'd go on trips, we'd camp in a tent. And someone gave us a brand new porta potty they'd had for years and never used it.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, that's great. And then we never used it because once you get out in a tent, you're like, oh, the only place for me to use this porta potty is in front of my dad or my sister or one of our friends. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that either.
Yeah.
So we never used the porta potty ever. We started driving. Before we started driving, I called my dad and I'm like, is there any chance that you still have
it.
that porta potty?
Yep.
So we took it brand new in box.
Still had the Blue Goo.
Wow.
It was like from 1989.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like
Yeah.
I looked
Avocado
it up.
green.
No,
Yellow,
it was,
whatever weird color.
mauve.
Mauve.
But I looked at the Blue Goose stuff, and it was like formaldehyde and all these other things, and I'm like, oh, that's not something we use anymore.
That formaldehyde works though.
It does work.
Because they recently, in the last couple of years, changed that formula and don't put it in. And we had a hell of a time trying to find something that actually worked.
We all did as drivers.
All of us.
Oh, yeah.
All of us
that
were
was
trying
the
to
biggest
sharing
conversation.
recipes
I've got a stash.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
So I have a little baby RV.
Do you have
that I'll
Venmo?
take. I have. So I've got a little stash. Because I have a little baby RV, a little tiny thing. I noticed that when I went to Walmart to buy stuff. So we buy stuff at Walmart all the time for the trucks, like water hoses and things like that. You get in the RV department, and I noticed that stuff I buy was all being clearanced out. And I'm like, oh no! I tried several things, hated them all. Found this, loved it, and it's made by Thetford.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. And I saw they were clearancing it out, and I was like, oh no, this is the only stuff I like, and I know it works. So I went and bought every one in that store, and then so we have a couple of different Walmarts I will go to. One by the house, one by the yard.
Yeah.
So it's the one by yard. A couple of days later, I'm at the one by the house, and I was like, let me just go see if they might have a couple boxes left. I knew they were going to have any at all, right? But maybe one or two left, and they had like 15 boxes. Bought them all.
All of it.
As you should.
As you should. That got me kind of curious, so I went over to another Walmart that's kind of like halfway between the yard and my house, and bought a few more boxes there. So for a while, when you pulled into my garage, it just smelled fresh because I had so many boxes of this stuff.
That's funny.
And now I've like stashed them all over the place. There's some in the RV. There's some in the yard, or not in the yard, in the one of the storage units. There's some stuff in my basement. There's some in my garage. Like, it's just everywhere. Because I bought so many.
How come there wasn't a gift on the expo table?
Because you can't buy it
valuable.
anymore.
Yeah, it's just too valuable. Forget the Traeger. Give me one bottle of that.
That's right.
It works. I got to make it last the rest of my life.
There you
right.
I mean, the good thing is it's that formaldehyde and everything in there. It
doesn't
go bad ever. So I will have it for the rest of my life until I use all of it. But it is funny when it did happen. I did have several teams reach out to me and actually when I told them, because I did a post on our group, hey, I noticed these on clearance. If you use these, go buy them.
Right.
And I had several teams that did that, and they got some for their trucks. And then I had others that reached out to me and said, I can't find it anywhere. Can I get a few boxes? So I did that for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nope.
That's it.
That's it. The rest are for me. Sorry.
Yep.
The struggles of being on the road.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was trying to share with the ladies is, you find where there's a will, there's a way. And just because you don't start off in a bathroom truck doesn't mean you can't put a bathroom in there.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Lots of people do it.
Call the porta potty.
You got to remember, those mega carriers we were talking about, zero of those trucks have bathrooms.
And I thought you're going to have room to put one.
No, you won't have room to put
a
one.
bucket
Tiny.
maybe.
No, exactly. When you look at the custom sleepers at like Panther and Landstar and FedEx and Load One and all the other ones that are out there, most don't.
Right.
The overwhelming majority do not have bathrooms. Statistically speaking, there's probably only like 10% of the fleet that actually has bathrooms.
Right.
And we're all making it work just fine. Eric and I never had a bathroom in one of our trucks. We always had a porta potty.
Yeah.
That was our only option. It's very normal. It's very common.
Yeah.
And it works great.
You know what I tell them? A bathroom truck isn't going to make you any more money.
No, it's not.
No,
While
it's
it's
not.
a nice luxury, it does not make it doesn't do anything for your pocketbook.
No, and one thing too, I've actually, Mel, my sister and I, we were talking today with a team that is slated to go into a bathroom truck, and they were at a shop that we work with, and so we were just chatting with them, and they're concerned because they know when they get the bathroom truck, they're going to lose some storage.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
even though the sleeper's a little bigger, it's not as big as how much space you lose because of the bathroom, and they're seriously concerned about like, is this going to be too much space? And if it is, we're going to stay in our other truck. So
Wow.
we have had that happen. We have had a few, not many, but we have had a few teams say, no, we'd rather stay in our other truck because we value the space, the extra storage space, the extra closet space, the extra
We did
whatever.
that.
So
When we swapped first truck, I had a meltdown. How do you
Yes.
get stuff from a bunk into one that doesn't have a bunk
Right.
anymore?
I remember that, by the way.
And then and then we went and that was the biggest one, I think. Actually, when we switched from the M2 to the Western
Sure.
Star, we ended up sending
A huge box.
a huge
home.
box home to
Yeah.
Oregon. I think it cost us like $150 to ship it, and that was
Yeah.
the stuff that I couldn't part with. We did a load to Goodwill and to the trash.
Yeah.
So I mean, we downsized, and then when we moved into the third truck, it was like, oh, I have cupboards to fill now.
Yes. Yeah, that was a very different. It was a
It
very
was a different truck. It was
yeah.
different, but
A lot larger of a sleeper. That was a one-off, unique build.
it
Right.
was. But
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't know that we filled all the spaces. We may have over time, but moving into the second truck was a big eye opener of things you really don't need on the truck.
Absolutely.
So-
Well, you know what's crazy too? When we started the company, Eric and I drove a factory sleeper truck. We drove one for the company, the fleet owner we were with, and then we bought one from that fleet owner that was exactly the same.
Right.
And it was a Kenworth 86-inch studio sleeper. Not to brag.
What does studio mean? That makes it sound like it's got a lot going on.
It was the largest sleeper
Yeah.
on the market
Wow.
at the
Yeah.
not at the time, but originally when it came out.
Yeah.
And they had one smaller called something else, like Loft or Nook or something. I don't know. But ours was a studio.
Right.
It was great. I mean, we actually had a little bit of square footage. It was big enough. There's a company out in I want to say Utah. I hope I'm right. That actually will take those sleepers, those Kenworth sleepers, and they will gut them and they'll put a bathroom in them.
Oh, wow.
They'll put a kitchen in
an
them.
86-inch
An
sleeper.
86-inch sleeper. It's
Wow,
tiny.
I bet.
It's
So did
not,
you have-
it is not spacious.
So
but
did you have? I've never asked. I don't know why. Maybe other people want to know. So this studio, did it have a sink with hot and cold running water?
No, it did not. It didn't have hot and cold water, or it didn't have water at all. Period. Didn't have. I mean, it was still a factory sleeper truck.
Sure.
So
Your square footage was.
small, everything about it, and it was 86 inches from the back of the driver's seat in the forward-most position
Oh.
to the back wall
Mhm.
of the
Okay.
sleeper.
So not threshold.
So
So
yes, not
think-
threshold. No. When we say 8-foot sleeper or 96-inch sleeper, we're measuring from where you step into the sleeper to the back wall. That is not what this was.
Right.
This was realistically more like a 6-foot sleeper, but a 6-foot with 72 inches.
Yeah.
Sleeper like on this Cascadia, like this one right here in front of you. That is the Freightliner's largest sleeper they make. That's really only like 5 foot if you measure it.
Think about
Interesting.
what I had in Dory.
Yeah, Dory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they were driving
So-
in together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So ours, what was so cool about the studio sleepers is the bed. It was bunk beds, obviously, and the bottom bed was a couch.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and you could
Wow.
unfold it, and that's what you made into your bed.
I didn't have that fancy.
I will tell you two things. One, very cool the first time you walk in and
Yeah.
you see you have a couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's the full width. It's 80 inches wide. It's a big couch.
Wow. You could have a party in there.
You could.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You had all this room. But let me tell you what. Couches don't make good beds.
No, they
No. No.
That's the only
don't. A lot of
problem.
foam.
And when
No.
you're driving over the road,
Ooh.
beds
Oof.
matter more than
Yes, they
couches
do.
do.
Yeah.
So the first truck we drove with the fleet owner,
Sure.
it was that. It was like put down foam, egg crates, memory foam, one of those toppers with the down alternative
Right.
toppers,
Yeah.
and everything we could do to try to sleep while the truck was going down the road. When we bought the second truck, because you couldn't, like, people ask why don't you use the top bunk? You couldn't use the top bunk while the truck was in motion.
Right.
It's not. It didn't have the safety harnesses or anything.
Sure.
Had a big placard on there. Don't use it. When we bought our truck, we literally went to Lowe's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My dad came up in his pickup truck, and Kenworth had the little door, the little emergency door
On the side,
on the
yeah.
side. And so we opened that emergency door and we unbolted and slid the couch out, put it in my dad's truck. He brought it to the dump and got rid of it. And we went into Lowe's. We had them cut the wood because they'll cut the plywood
size,
for you.
Yeah.
And we had them cut everything for us. And then we assembled it in their parking lot. And then we put a mattress on top, a real deal mattress.
Is that a game changer?
Yeah, this company would not exist without that modification. I mean, it was that
Oh,
pivotal.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It
Did you have the
was
little apartment fridge, like the little?
not an apartment. That's
no,
kind.
like your
Yeah,
your,
it is.
your
Like
pool,
a dorm
pool
room.
room,
Like a
dorm
room, kids.
dorm room.
Yeah.
Uh,
Smaller than
tiny.
dorm room?
No,
Okay, yeah.
I
Dory.
think I think 6 soda cans.
Yeah.
Nope, you couldn't put any bottle of water. They were too tall.
Too tall, yeah.
But yeah, I think we get some soda cans in there, and then we would put no freezer, no, try to have some form of healthiness. We would buy, the little kits you buy at Walmart or Albertsons or wherever you get your groceries that have like the carrots, almonds, and a couple pieces of cheese or broccoli, or maybe some ranch dipping in there. And they have all kinds of different types, right? Maybe one's just got blueberries and granola and apples. So we would buy those and stick them in there just so we could have some form of fresh food. And so that's what we had. But that truck had 2 closets, had a filing cabinet, had a table that came down out of one of the closet doors. It actually, we could put a ton of stuff in there. We had a coffee maker in there. We had a microwave in there. We had an inverter. We had a tri-pack. We had APU. We had tons of storage in there. So when we went from that truck to our first custom sleeper truck, we started moving things over thinking, we got this huge,
all kinds of space.
Huge custom sleeper truck. Oh, it was so nice. And we get in there and there's no room for anything. It was that same thing. It was like, oh my, how does this all fit in that little bitty truck?
Exactly, but won't fit
in here.
That's
it
funny.
was crazy. We had to get so much stuff on the truck. And then, Eric and I always bounced around with with the worst truck in the fleet. Like we always, when we were driving, we were like, okay, well, I'd rather give out the good trucks, the best trucks to our top performers, and Eric and I will just take whatever's left.
Right.
And so that's what we always did. And at the beginning, I mean, we had a wide variety of trucks. We were buying used a lot of the times. So it was all this uniformity and stuff we talk about now, none of that existed.
Didn't exist.
So we would bounce around all the time. We had it down to a couple suitcases, our duffel bags, and one plastic big tub, which is funny because I just saw it the other day. It's in Eric's office. He has it underneath his
plants?
Not his plant. Underneath his printer.
Oh.
And that white tub's still in there. But we had it down to that's what we needed.
Wow.
We could move it out of a truck in less than 20 minutes.
Eric still has your go bag ready just in case. Just in case.
Well, now it's full of like bills of lading and drug test forms and log books and things like that. So
that's funny.
It's definitely changed quite a bit since then. But it was cool to see that throwback, and I was like, oh my gosh! And then going through some of the paperwork, and it's like, we don't use that anymore. We don't use that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Eric, we need to talk about that. By the way, you have too much stuff in there. But anyways, so I completely empathize with that whole switching trucks and being like, what am I going to do? This is a bigger truck. How do we not have the space we had before? And the showers consume a lot of it.
They do.
Yeah. So
if you think about the shower, it's floor to ceiling, so you don't have a cabinet above or below. It's floor to ceiling, and it's 4 feet deep. Yeah. On the outside, so it takes up a big chunk of space. And here's a little thing that most people don't know is
you won't use. You will not use the shower.
No. We use it occasionally.
You might use it. Well, that's what I mean. Oh, occasionally.
I'd rather have longevity of hot water.
Right.
Yes. Well, the porta pot, the potty side of it, you'll use.
Oh, sure.
But the shower side of it,
the shower side, not very often.
No,
it takes up a lot of water, so you have to plan your water side. Yeah, we would use it in an emergency, or if we were at a campground where we plugged into water and had all the water we wanted. That's when we'd use it. Otherwise, we wouldn't use it. Yeah, we just wouldn't.
But it's definitely a little bit of like you got to figure out what's most important to you and go with that. And
priorities.
So priorities. And that porta potty thing, that was day one.
I think it's is it stature or status having a bathroom truck?
Yeah, definitely. There is that. So everybody always wants to be the best, right?
Sure.
So that is kind of the pinnacle of trucks.
Yeah.
So I certainly understand why people are drawn to it. And look, if Eric and I went back out and we decided, hey, let's drive again.
Yeah.
I would want one. But I also know I can be a minimalist and I could deal with not having a lot of space.
Sure.
I also know we don't cook a whole lot. So giving up some space people might have for food storage or pot and pan storage or what have you, or an Instapot, I wouldn't have that on the truck.
Sure.
So there's certain things that if some of that stuff is like, oh, I don't want to sacrifice here or there, it may not be the best. So
and I share that with people at the schools. I share our journey, Vince's and mine, how we started off at an M2, no bathroom. Then we went through 2 bathroom trucks. And I said, and if, forbid tomorrow it all goes up in smoke, whatever it is, and we had to get back in a truck, I said we wouldn't probably odds are we wouldn't be in a bathroom truck.
Speak
We'd have
for
to
yourself.
most likely we would have to start again, right? And I said, but again, that bathroom truck isn't making me any more money. It's still a lifestyle. It's still the experience, and a non-bathroom truck will still provide that to you.
Absolutely.
So just being real about it.
And the showers in the truck stops are better than what they are in the trucks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Space-wise.
A porta potty doesn't take up, but 18 inches by
That's it.
14 inches or something.
Throw a towel over it, and you can use it for a chair.
And people do.
And we did.
And I've seen it.
Yep.
Yep.
We did.
I've seen people do that
Yeah.
quite a few times. So lots of options there. So I'm very excited to hear about all this in the schools
Thank you.
and the progress you're doing. And so just being as like someone who I've had good mentors, I like mentoring people. I've not been the best mentor, but seeing you come into this and make it your own and go from we don't know what we're getting ourselves into to now you've got a pretty good spiel down. If you've got a new school on, you wouldn't think twice about it. Like it's just that confidence that here's the deal, here's what we're changing. I love seeing that. I love that growth.
Thank you.
All about growth, and not just growth as in let's make the fleet bigger. Because right now we're in the process of getting rid of some of our older trucks and not growing the fleet. But growth is in personal, business, professional growth.
Sure.
And I love that. So
well, thank you.
I do have to say, it's unfortunate.
I'm sorry. The Jerry's not here?
By our contract.
Oh, the contract.
We need to rewrite that contract.
We need to reevaluate it.
Every time you say that, this is what I picture. You ready for it? Sure. Willy Wonka. Half of a contract with half of a magnifying glass going over the contract. Subcontract, very bottom, fine print, blah, blah, and you can't even read it. If anybody's watched Willy Wonka, the original,
they'll get it.
You'll get it. Yes, right. And every time you say contract, all I picture is half of the chopped off contract, fine print, and the airplane's
subsection,
on subsection, right.
Subsection Z.
That's right. Anyways, that's anytime you say that.
Well, it's content to be covered, and we do have to talk about the airplane of the week, and we have a beautiful bird for you today.
It's the same one as last week.
It looks just like the one from last week, doesn't it?
Except for the 100 on the front.
And everything else about it. So,
does it only hold 100 people, or is
it does
celebrating?
not? This is a KLM airline, and it's funny that it has 100 on it because if you remember, we just talked last week about a KLM A330-200.
We did.
This is a KLM Boeing 787. So the difference is, I believe it's 1,000, 787-1000. The difference is this is obviously an American plane versus a European plane. And this is a next generation airplane. The one from last week was a previous generation airplane. Yeah, this airplane is one of my favorites.
Like to fly on or to look at?
To fly. It's it's the most. They call these Dreamliners.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, they're a dream.
Yeah.
So real quick, the 100 on the side of the airplane we discussed last week. KLM is the
oldest
airline in the world, still under the same name. And so that was to celebrate their 100-year anniversary. Isn't that crazy to think about an airline that's 100 years old?
It really is.
Meanwhile, flying is like 110 years old.
Right.
Like, it's just unbelievable. So that was to celebrate their 100 years in business. And 787 Dreamliner. So you'll notice a couple things about this airplane. One is the way it's pointed. I'm going to turn this around delicately so I don't break it. You see the nose, how funny it looks?
It looks like a short nose.
Didn't it look weird?
Yeah.
And like there's not that normal like little hump below the
windows.
Below the windows. Yeah, it's like perfectly straight down and smooth. This is an all carbon fiber airplane. There is a little titanium in there and aluminum, but not much. It's predominantly carbon fiber.
Wow.
So they're able to get really cool designs like that because they don't have steel up there, or not steel, titanium or aluminum. It's funny because I know a guy who works on these, a mechanic who works on these Dreamliners, and because it is perfectly smooth like that, they have constant issues with their windshield wipers because it's the only thing that sticks out. And
is the windshield wipers?
So they're getting the windshield wipers are getting hammered at 600 miles an hour.
That's hilarious.
Is this a double decker?
This is not a double decker, but it is a twin aisle. So you do have your 3 seats, an aisle, 3 seats, an aisle, 3 seats.
Wow.
Yes. So if you remember,
I need that one more time.
I'm sorry. Actually, I said that wrong.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Okay, do it again.
This is a 2-seat,
Okay.
4-seat, 2-seat.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Whoosh.
All right.
The seat's
That center aisle was throwing me off.
I know. I'm like,
sits-
ooh, just one person in each row in the center.
Yeah.
Put me in that chair. Nobody next to
No.
me.
This is 242. So what I like about this airplane too, is that it's a little narrower, so their economy's forced. They can't put that. They can't squeeze that ninth seat in there.
Right.
So everybody in economy, even though it's a smaller airplane, gets a little more comfortable seat.
Nice.
What I don't like about it is in business class, where Eric and I typically fly, and we're going across the world, because points.
As you do.
Is 222,
Okay.
not 141,
Right,
not
so you have a
121.
little less space.
So you
it
have
seems
less
like.
space up front. So that's unfortunate, but the airplane is so dadgum comfortable. The humidity in the air, the ambient temperature, the lower pressure or the higher pressurization they put on these airplanes, it is an extremely comfortable airplane. You fall asleep so easy. You wake up refreshed. Has the largest windows of any airplane out there.
You're
They're
talking
huge.
down the side of it?
Down the side of
windows?
it, those windows are massive. I mean, huge windows. It's just such a great plane. It's so quiet. You don't hear anything. You don't hear wind noise. You don't hear engine noise.
Wow.
It's like flying in a dream.
Liner.
Nice.
Yes.
Did last week's have 4 engines? I don't remember.
It did not. No, we've only had 2 4-engine airplanes. No, 3 4-engine airplanes.
And
on
are
this.
those usually double deckers?
So not usually, but there's a couple that are. The 747, Queen of the Skies.
Yeah.
747. Right with the
Yep. God Save the
special
Queen.
launch, yeah.
And then the A380, which we have not featured in this show.
Okay.
So those 2 are kind of double deckers, but these are single deckers. It's a great plane. Love it. Super comfortable. Again, KLM, if you want to know anything about them, we talked about them extensively last week. Go listen to it.
Do they fly from the United States overseas? I guess I missed that last week. I'm so sorry.
As a matter of fact, KLM is one of the few airlines that has 0 domestic flights.
Oh, that's what you said last week.
All they do is fly international.
And that's different countries, just not United States to other.
Correct. Yes. I mean, like they do a lot of flying to the United States.
Sure.
But the
Like,
majority.
are they doing Australia to wherever? Or
I don't
trying
know
to
if they go
picture
to
other.
Australia, but they definitely go to
About South America
St.
to
Martin.
like London.
Okay.
Okay.
St. Martin.
Thank you.
So that's a good little hike.
Yeah.
I'd like to visit there one day.
We might one day. It's a great airplane. Love it. I recommend you if you ever get a chance to fly in a Dreamliner, do it. I just watched a thing on TV or YouTube where they were talking about Delta Airlines, my favorite.
Right.
Delta's a Sky Team member. KLM's a Sky Team member, so I booked my KLM flights through
Through
Delta. Delta had a 787 Dreamliner order, and they canceled it.
Oof.
Because I love this airplane so much, I would love to fly this thing
Sure.
with Delta. But now I have to use their partners. Virgin has some. KLM has some. I want to say Air France had an order for them. I don't know if they bought any or not. So there are still opportunities to fly them if you're a Delta fanboy like I am, our fangirl.
What's their longevity? Like their range typically?
They can go pretty far. So the world's longest flight right now is New York City to Singapore, but it's going to be New York City to Sydney or London to Sydney. They're about the same distance, believe it or not, as crazy as that is. Nonstop. It's something like 22 hours an airplane each way. And it was between the 787 and the A350, and they were duking it out hard. They actually tested it on a 787, and it made the flight. And they tested everything. Qantas did it, not KLM. Qantas did it, and they actually all the pilots had literally like probes, like they were getting EKG all over their body for the entire flight, so they could study. And I say pilot, and I say all the pilots because a flight like that, you have like 5 or 6 pilots on board. It's not just 2 people. All the crew members were monitored. They had doctors on the flight. They had invite-only members of the press, but also flight people to be on the airplane, so they could monitor
engineers, scientists,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
That'd
Yes,
be pretty cool.
So they monitored the whole flight.
Yeah.
They found out like chili pepper and a few other things are good at keeping people awake and good at helping you not keeping people awake. I'm sorry, helping people get over that jet lag. Because you're talking 20 hours, you're gonna have jet lag.
Yeah.
And when to give what food service? It was very, very insightful. So it looked for a long time like Boeing was going to get it, and they ultimately decided to go with Airbus with the A350. That flight was able to make. The plane was able to get that flight.
That's pretty cool.
So
that's interesting.
they are very, very, very long haul flights.
Oh, okay.
But you could also do New York City to London, which is 6 hours.
Right.
Not that long.
I have one follow-up question.
Go
and
ahead.
I'll be done. So 100 years. For some reason, my curiosity wants to know what their first plane looked like. Have you ever seen their first plane before?
I have.
I don't think
How many
cameras
people
were
did it
invented
haul?
then, honestly.
Like
I,
2?
4.
Oh,
Yeah,
4?
I think it was like 2 people and two pilots. 2 pilots, 2 passengers. It was very, very small.
So they didn't have any stewardesses providing service?
They didn't exist back then.
BYOB?
Yeah, I mean, they literally just figured out airplanes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
they
I get it. I just was curious. So
Yeah.
where again, 100 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So
But Amsterdam,
look how big and how many they're hauling.
I know, right?
And then you're like, what did they start off? And,
Well-
and where are they classifying that they truly started?
Well, none of that. If you think about how was a airline in Amsterdam of all places able to grow and be successful? Well, from Amsterdam, you can hit all of Europe
All
with
of
very
Europe,
small
yeah.
airplanes.
that
So-
makes sense.
Yeah.
So they immediately had a great you could fly from Amsterdam to London, even back in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
They had airplanes that could make
That
that
makes
hop
sense.
with no
Right.
problem. So
So
what you're
KLM's
saying.
first flight was between Amsterdam and London,
There you go.
followed
There you go.
the same year by a route to Copenhagen via Hamburg, and in 1923 by a route to Brussels. As early as 1921, KLM had opened the world's first airline reservations and ticket office in Amsterdam.
1921?
Yes.
wow, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, everything has to start somewhere. But
It does, but
Wow.
just-
Ticketed.
Yeah.
Ticketed, too.
Ticketed,
You had
yes.
to buy a ticket to get on there. I
Yeah.
wonder what that flight cost.
They're like 3 pence. You're
Right.
like, oh.
Yeah, sign me up. And they go, well, for inflation, 3 pence is like $4 million.
Yes,
Right.
that's exactly right. It's exactly right.
Yeah.
You look at what it costs to fly Hindenburg over to America, and
Yeah.
it was like, wow,
Wow.
I would not be flying that. But even Concorde, Concorde
Oh,
seemed
sure.
ridiculous at
Concorde was
the
crazy
time.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
It's
Anyways,
pretty cool. Cool
So-
history on the KLM.
Very cool airline, very cool airplane.
Definitely.
I love it. I love the little chevrons on the back of the engines. They look like little saws.
Yeah.
They're kind of yeah. They did that. What I love
Those
about it.
serrated knife edge.
What I love about that too is it's an outdated technology. Again, it's a brand new next generation. I just
Sure.
told you it's such an impressive airplane.
Yeah.
It's already got an outdated engine technology.
Wow.
That's how fast stuff's moving right now. It is crazy. It'll be great. I can't wait for so much just fuel efficient stuff to hit the world long term. But that's what we have. But you were saying St. Martin.
Yes, St. Martin.
I think we should go to St. Martin around New Year's. What do you think?
I think that'd be a great time to go to St.
Now,
Martin.
if we were to go there and fly KLM, we'd have to fly to Amsterdam,
Right.
sit around that airport for a while,
I wanna
get
get a
another
ticket.
airplane, fly all the way across the Atlantic
Right.
again
Yeah.
to Amsterdam,
To St. Martin.
St. Martin, sorry. Hang out there for a little while, then fly all the way back to Amsterdam, then all the way back to America. That's exhausting.
That sounds horrible.
Is there a better way?
We could certainly, spend a few days there in Amsterdam and explore the museums, or we could take a cruise. We could fly to, I don't know, Orlando, Florida.
Huh.
Maybe drive over to Port Canaveral cruise ship terminal.
That's a good idea. Tell me more.
Hop on one of the largest cruise ships in the world, Carnival Wonders of the Sea.
I believe that is the largest cruise ship
Well,
in
I
the
think
world.
I think come New Year's we'll have the Icon of the Sea, which
That
will
is
be the largest. No,
Not until mid-February, mid 2024.
I
You're-
stand
you're
corrected.
rushing.
I am
Don't
rushing.
rush.
I am rushing.
We will be
I
on
mean,
the largest.
Yeah, well, so we'll be on
We'll be like it'll be like
could,
it'll
in
be
theory,
In
we
theory.
could we could in theory be on
On
the,
the
on the largest
largest-
the same way people were hanging out the Chrysler Building
right.
a couple days
Before
before the
the
Empire
Empire
State
State Building was done.
Yeah, they're like we're the
We're the
tallest,
tallest
in the world.
building.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
Don't look over there.
Yeah, exactly. We could be on the world's largest cruise ship, Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas.
Mhm.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
does it take us?
It's going
St.
to take us
Martin?
to St. Martin.
Can
Is
you
it
sit
now?
on a beach and watch the KLMs take off?
Oh,
it
it's St.
depends
Martin.
on the way the wind blows.
It does.
So
Wind
maybe
is
watch them
the
take
wind
off,
blows.
or
Or-
watch them land.
So you could watch them though.
You
That'd
You
could.
be
could
cool.
watch them
Yes.
if the timing was right when the one was landing while you were there. Sure.
So this beach,
Are you going to go do that?
this beach you're talking about is called Mahu Beach.
Bahu Beach.
Maho Beach.
Right.
MAHO. How do you say that?
With an M, not a B.
Yes. And I have been there.
Have you? Have you
A
watched
few
the
times.
KLM planes land?
So we've been there a few times, and I've only ever seen one KLM plane land, but I have seen it. And I've also seen Air France land, and it's like you're kind of still in their thunder. But so the island, St. Martin, is half Dutch, half French.
Right.
So, but they
You're
only
getting
they
them
only
all.
have one
airport.
They have 2 airports, but they only have one big airport. The other one's like tiny little.
Yeah.
The
General
jokes,
aviation.
RC planes,
Oh,
but
gotcha. Drones.
Your
yes.
locals.
Yeah, so they land. So it's funny to see like Air France land in Holland to be able, or the Dutch side. Then they have to go over. But so yeah, it is. It's a fun time. I enjoy it a lot. We get nachos.
Nachos.
Yes, we do. We get
Nachos that are French or
Dutch.
we get that. We get a bucket of cervezas.
Okay.
And we hang out and we watch airplanes and we watch people get. Listen, you've seen it on YouTube. If you haven't, look it up. Mahu Beach. People are getting blasted by
Right.
10,000 degree jet blast with sand hitting them. So it's a sand blaster.
So they're getting sandblasted
and thrown into the ocean. And I'm sure some of you go like, that sounds like fun.
No, thank you.
All right, I've seen it. I'm not doing it. But
Do people go just for that experience?
oh,
To say that you've been blasted by an airplane?
yes.
Huh. I might
Yeah.
have to watch this YouTube
I think
video.
No,
that's
yeah,
where
when-
the phrase "dude, hold my beer" came from.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, but
It is
imagine having that on your resume.
it is a sight to behold.
Oh,
Okay.
you'd have it all over your
Oh,
all over your resume.
all over
It's
my
blasted.
resume.
yes, and what's really fun,
I'll be exfoliated.
what's really fun is when you watch planes leave.
Yeah.
There's a few that know. There's a few they line up.
Yeah.
Oh.
They give it full throttle.
Right.
They hold the brake a
Yeah.
little bit,
Oh.
and then they take off. It's like, all right, you're out here to give these people a good time.
Yeah.
You just cost your airline $100,000 in
And
jet
tires.
fuel, but yeah, and tires. But everybody here has a story
I
now.
didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. Don't watch it. Be
Yeah,
surprised.
don't watch it.
Don't
Wait
watch
till
it,
you
be
get there.
surprised.
Wait till you
Okay.
get there.
We should do
Am I
that.
going?
As a matter of fact, well, I don't know. Did you sign up for Hyfield at Sea?
Well, I have to look at your consigliere, who's my better half, and ask him, did you sign us up for that?
I did sign us up for
Whoop, whoop.
Hyfield at Sea. I did not sign us up for Mahu Beach,
Oh.
but we are signed up for Hyfield
You
at
didn't
Sea.
sign up for Wahoo Beach?
We didn't. We. Oh, you know what? I just did. We're signed up for Mahu Beach.
Okay. Sandblasted.
So, anyways, so the Hyfield at Sea is going to be December 30th through January 7th at a Port Canaveral, which is Orlando, Florida. Water to the Seas, Royal Caribbean's world's largest cruise ship. It is massively large. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the rooms in our block are already sold out, but you can still go to the website. You can still talk to your preferred
can.
travel agent.
Yeah.
You can still go to somewhere that sells cruises and jump on it.
What's your
we
app
are
that you use sometimes?
we are doing the early dining, and we are so if you want to set your dining up for that, we're doing the early dining, but as part of the block. But it is going to be a fun time. It's going to be a great cruise. I'm looking forward to getting away for a little bit. We're going to go out of Port Canaveral, Florida,
Yes.
and we're going to go right to one of my favorite places. I really like it. I've really grown to like it a lot. You and I and you and Eric
Is it
had
CC?
a blast there.
Yes, we did.
It was so much
We
fun.
did.
Do you remember how cold the water was?
It's freezing.
So cold.
Freezing.
So cold.
So cold.
And I
cold.
wanted to
So
embrace
cold.
the
So
swim up
cold.
bar.
I did too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanted
we
to
all
we
just-
did.
tried
Well,
to.
we still did it.
We
We still
tried.
did it. We still did it.
Lifestyle.
There
Listen,
was no embracing, though.
it was okay.
You're
so
embracing something.
we got okay. Let's say it is Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay.
Perfect day at Coco Cay.
It's our private
It was a
island in the
perfect
Bahamas.
day.
It is a beautiful place. It's
A gorgeous
gorgeous. Oh my
place.
gosh, it's so
Gorgeous
friggin'
place.
it's so friggin' pretty. And it's a huge island. They have what do you want to do? They have it. You want
They
to do
have
water
it.
slides? Got
They
it.
have it.
You want to do zip line? Got it.
it.
You want to do a big giant swimming
Hot
pool?
air
They got
balloon
it. You want to do a
thing,
hot
too?
air balloon? They got
Yeah.
it.
What was
You
that
want to do
thing?
beaches?
That zippy thing? Like they rode you up in the tower on a roller coaster and dropped you? I thought I saw something like that.
They had the big water park.
They had the water
Yeah,
park thing.
water
That might be,
park.
yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. Yep.
yeah.
You want to do rent a cabana?
A
A
cabana.
cabana, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the right word. Yeah, you want to rent a cabana
Right.
and overlook the ocean, overlook the beach. They got it.
Yeah.
And the best part, not the best part, one of the things I like about it is that all the food's covered
Yeah. It's
on the island.
Yep.
And the drinks package, if you were to get one, is honored there.
It is.
So for those of us that do get the drinks package and you swim up at the pool's massive.
That's
It's
huge.
It's the biggest
Huge.
pool I've ever been in.
It is the biggest freshwater pool in the Caribbean,
It's massive.
and I imagine it's larger than most freshwater pools. It's huge.
Yes. If there's
It is
there's
huge.
freshwater pools bigger than it, which obviously the way they phrase it there are,
but
they're ridiculous.
yeah,
This thing is
insane,
crazy big.
insane.
And they have a swim up bar, which is way too small for as big as the pool
It
is. But I wanted to do it. Y'all want to do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, how cool is this? With the bar,
Very.
you can get your drink
really
and you
cool.
hang out in the water and the sun's
Really
shining and
cool.
everything. That water was 12 degrees.
Oh yeah,
It was so cold.
and we're not talking
When did we
Celsius
go?
here.
No,
October?
no, we
did
went.
It was
It
in
was
October. It
October.
was
It
Halloween.
was Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
pictured
So-
it being warm tropical
I
water.
did too. It was ice cold. But you know what? It was right after COVID.
The ocean was warm though.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
just the freshwater
It
pool.
was just
that
the pool
cold.
was, but
Yes.
it was, if you remember, it was right after
It was.
COVID
Yeah.
got done.
Yeah.
I think we still had to wear masks at certain parts of the
We did.
ship.
Yeah.
It was
We did.
very, so I understand they were just getting everything
Sure.
reactivated and everything. And I
Yeah.
hope that it's not that cold again.
Oh,
But- I
I'm
hope so.
still getting in.
Yeah, I will too.
Oh yeah.
There is what's really fun. Do you remember this? Is that they actually had some of the bartenders from the ship actually came
pepper.
out
I was
there.
going to mention that. Yeah, that was amazing.
That was so cool. We switched to the bar, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, and he's like, hey, Chili and Patrick and
Yeah.
Melissa, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, that was really cool. And they literally were like, do you want this normal drink you normally
Exactly.
have? And we're
Yep.
like,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's really fun. Look, Royal Caribbean particularly, but most cruises, but Royal Caribbean definitely. They are there to get to know you,
Yes.
like you. They really put a lot of pressure on, not pressure, but a lot of emphasis on that with their
On
staff
that personalized
Yes.
service.
and that personal
certainly.
service, and they get to know you really, really well.
So what happens after I'm done at Coco Cay?
So after you're done at Coco Cay, you go back to the ship. We're
Okay.
gonna have dinner,
It's fantastic.
and then
Early dinner, I heard you say.
early dinner. Yep.
Yep.
And then that night, we're going to get into shenanigans.
Nice.
Yes.
That's not a place. That's a thing
It's a thing.
Whew.
that we're gonna do.
It's an activity.
It's an activity that goes.
Can you
all
find it
night long.
anywhere on the ship?
Pretty much.
Not anywhere, but most places.
Yeah.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
We'll have a lot of fun. So the very next day is cruising, which is great. I love a sea day.
Oh yeah.
Just relax,
Yep.
chill out in the water,
Find
go
a
to
spot by the pool.
find a spot by the pool. One of the 7 that are on the boat.
Wow.
Listen to the Caribbean vibe music being played live.
Yeah.
Like just
You could even go get a massage.
you
Spa
could,
day.
you could,
You could.
you could.
You
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
Chill out. I like them. I usually on cruise days where we're just gonna be on the water. I'm up by easy 2 p.m.
Oh, easy.
So
Easy 2 p.m.
easy 2 p.m. Yeah.
Yep.
Day 3 though, St. Thomas.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
St. Thomas is so pretty. It's so different than what you're going to see in the Bahamas. Giant mountain in the middle of the country, or
Yeah.
in the middle of the island. It's green and lush. It's not sandy. It's totally different. Gonna have a lot of fun there. Then we're gonna go to on day 5. My favorite. Not my favorite. A place I'm excited to go to because I've never been.
Okay.
Been to a lot of places in the
All right.
Caribbean. I've never been here.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
Thank you. How do you say that
I
first
thought it was
word?
St. Kitts.
Bastaire?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Leave us a comment of how to pronounce that in the if you're listening.
How do you spell it?
Bassettere.
I've heard that pronounced before.
And how they say it?
I don't remember. Bastyr? Is it
I'm
Bastyr?
fairly confident it's what I just said.
You're asking those of us that ask you how to say it, if that's how to say it.
So,
I've
anyways,
asked.
I'm excited to go there. Never been. I can't wait to see it. Melissa, my sister, she's been looking at things to do. She's found a place she wants to go and take us to see where they make fabric. Anyways, on day 6, we're going to St. Martin, Phillipsburg, St. Martin, airplanes, Mahu Beach, nachos,
Nachos, bucket of
Yeah.
beer.
bucket of beer, quesadillas,
Yeah.
chill, axing. Then we have 2 days, 7 days, 7 to day 8 of just cruise ship relaxation. Get your calm in before you have to head back to Orlando International Airport or your truck or wherever you're coming to us from.
Yeah.
Let's kill that drinks package. Let's give it to the cruise line. let's hang out and see all the shows we missed. Let's go do some comedy.
Yeah.
Let's go do a piano bar.
Sing along.
Can we do a piano bar until 1 o'clock in the
Sure.
morning?
Yeah.
One.
Oh, at least.
At
At
least.
At least.
Yeah.
Let's go shop till you drop. The best deals on the cruise ship come out the last days of the cruise.
They do.
Get
Really?
Oh,
They really
yeah.
do.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, noted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so much fun.
I'm not really a shopper, so I wouldn't know that.
You know what? I do like a nice T-shirt, and you can get a nice T-shirt $5 in the cruise. Maybe a little more now, but
Wow.
$7.50. But love
Make
it.
note to self.
Absolutely.
I did the bracelets, I think, on the last 2 we've
The
done.
charm bracelets.
Yes.
But you
Yeah,
had to do
yeah.
it every day, and they were
Yes.
like $5. I don't know. It was like $15 to get you started. It was a bracelet and a
Yes.
charm, and then every day it was,
So
Right.
roll,
and it was at a specific time. But it was
Yes.
kind of fun to, I don't know, meet obviously
Ro-
the staff, and then
So-
all the other ladies that are there at the same time to get their charm.
Yes. So Royal Caribbean does the same thing. It's
Yes.
really fun. Eric will go and he'll get them for his sister and other family members and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
He enjoys doing that. And on this last one, when we were on the Wonder of the Seas, their jewelry store is outside.
Ooh.
Really?
And you're saying, well, how can you have a cruise ship outside? I mean,
Sure,
a
cruise
store outside,
Yeah.
a diamond, whatever it's called,
Sure.
jewelry store outside.
Jewelry store, yeah.
They do. I can't wait for you to find it. I sat outside and drank a glass of wine because I have no desire to be a part of that.
So how many
But-
days are we from the time we board to the time we depart?
So
9 days.
9 days?
9 days. 9 days, but it's 8 nights.
So I truly have enough time to a person, not necessarily me, but a person has time to explore every level of the ship.
Yes.
Because not every level is going to be something, right?
Yeah,
those
some-
are sleeper berth
Yeah,
levels.
Sure.
there's going to be
Sure.
several floors that are just
Right.
cabins.
Yeah.
Cabins.
Or
Okay.
cabins.
we can't
So-
go. We
But
can't
sure.
go. We can't go to first floor. First floor is crew only.
Okay.
But
But
I've
truly,
watched
any
a couple
floor that
of,
has something where I can go on and explore, I can do that.
I've watched a couple of tours
Sure.
on the tubes.
I've been
And
watching you watch
this ship
those.
this ship is huge,
Massive.
So
Gigantic.
you could spend time on only half of it and still have a great time.
I will say
but
this is one of the few cruise ships that we've been on that I have not seen everything.
Really?
Now that was not like it wasn't a goal to see everything,
Sure.
so I didn't make an effort to see
Sure,
everything. But there are sections on that cruise ship I have never seen.
Oh.
So that will be fun to go see with y'all.
Yeah.
And
You know
y'all-
what I'm excited about?
And y'all, yeah, it's gigantic. It's we should have a game of Marco Polo on it. Anyways, go ahead.
I know quite a few people that are going to be celebrating their birthdays over the course of our time there.
I don't know anyone though.
Seriously?
I don't
Not a
either.
single person.
Either.
I know at least 2.
Eric just chimed in. He says Coco Cay is. Oh, that's Coco Cay. Coco Cay is almost an acre.
That seems
Almost-
small.
It does seem small, but
Really?
there's
I
nothing.
didn't
Is
think
that,
so.
that the pool is almost an acre?
Oh, the pool.
Oh, the
pool.
pool. Yes. Okay.
Okay, that makes
All
more
right,
sense now.
yeah.
Wow, the pool is almost an acre.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
That's huge.
That's
Bananas.
That's huge.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
BANANAS.
There's islands. If you go look at pictures online, you'll see
Yeah.
it. But we've when we've been in it, I don't know if you remember. There's islands.
That would fit in that pool.
No, there's islands in the pool. Do
Do
you
I have-
remember? They were islands. You couldn't go on them. They were islands full of like
Yes,
tropical.
I do.
Yes.
I do
stuff.
recall that. Yes.
So do I
And they were
have to
big.
be
Yes.
hashtag Hyfield family to join you?
Yes. So no, you don't have to be.
Because I think that's the biggest question
I think
that I've seen people ask on the socials.
Absolutely.
Is, do I have to be a Hyfield team member, perspective, or anything like that? Or can we just come out and be part of what y'all are doing?
no. It
Look.
is a 6,000 plus
Person ship.
person ship.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody, if you want to have a good time for New Year's, if you want to throw down with us, come on. It's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
fun. We're not going to say you have to be Highfield family. You don't even have to be connected.
Not at all.
We've got several teams I know that are planning on bringing kids or bringing other family members with them.
Yep.
Okay.
So by all means, come out and hang out. It's going to be a fun time. I don't make any money off Royal Caribbean. I'm not a Royal
Sure.
Caribbean whatever. Eric and I cruise other cruise lines. They got it going on. It's
Yeah.
a great way to spend
Yeah.
New Year's.
New Year's.
Even
It
if
really is.
even if we weren't there,
Truly is.
it's a lot of fun. I mean, they really know how to throw the party. They really know how to have things fun without things getting crazy out of hand. I think is a proud way to say it. Like, there's gonna be a lot of fun, but it's not. You don't have to worry about like debauchery. I don't know. It's
No, it's very family
Right.
it's very
oriented,
family
friendly. There are they have the comedy shows.
yes,
You know, comedy shows can get pretty raunchy.
they can.
Well, they had the family friendly
Yes.
comedy
They
show,
did. Yes.
and then they had the adult comedy show.
Yes.
Same comedian.
Yes.
And I'm thinking when we went to see him, I'm thinking, he's just going to throw in a couple F bombs in the same. Oh, no.
totally
His
different.
content was
Totally
completely
different act.
different.
totally different.
Totally different act, and both of them were hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Yes. That's what I
Yes.
love. So
Yes.
obviously we talked last couple weeks ago about comedy and late night show stuff. So I'm obviously a fan of comedy. That was one thing I love about these cruise ships is they do bring in really good talent, and they do a very funny family show, and they do a very funny not family show.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have seen it. I don't know if Royal Caribbean does it or not. I've seen them go like kid friendly, adult friendly to adults, and if you feel comfortable bringing your kids, but it's up to the parents' judgment.
Sure.
To hardcore, there are nobody here under the age of 18.
Yeah. Oh,
I've seen them do all three.
Oh, yeah.
And the cruise line literally will scan you in and make sure you're 18 to get in the cruise.
Yeah.
And if you're like, I don't like that kind of comedy, that's fine.
That's fine.
There's
Yeah.
38 other shows going
plenty of
on.
stuff.
I enjoyed the
Tons of
ice
stuff going
skating.
on.
I thought, wow, ice skating.
On a
Oh, the
ship.
ice-
Or the drummers.
Ice skating
How about
on
the
a ship.
drummers?
Well, that's
right?
insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Or the
Right?
stompers.
One of
Who
the
are they?
things-
Drummers or stompers?
Yes.
Or were
Yes.
they both? Yes.
yes.
I
And
enjoyed them.
And that show is not on the strip. They have entirely new shows.
Sure.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Insane.
the Royal Caribbean's entertainment divisions, our production division is massive. But one thing too I love about this cruise ship is they take that ice skating area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They make it into a club.
Wow.
You get to dance
Like-
on the ice?
Yes.
Can I skate
but
on
it's
the
not.
ice?
It's not got ice. They cover it.
Oh,
But it is
but it's
like,
cold.
It's that same.
But it's like legit.
Cold. To keep the ice cold.
But it's like legit New York City high end.
Oh, fun.
Club.
And they do
gotcha.
that on this
Bottle
one?
service.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to spend the money,
Right.
they'll let you spend the money.
Hmm.
But your drinks package works there too. Keep that in mind. So no, they do a great job.
Dress up? No dress up?
What you want?
High end,
it's-
you're gonna want to dress up.
Okay.
I think I had on a pair of slacks and a either probably button up.
Are there multiple New Year's parties, or is it just like one big thing on a promenade?
So
Promenade.
there is
Promenade.
one big New Year's party. There is one place where it really goes down,
Okay.
like Times Square, New York.
Yeah.
Are there other things to do? Kinda, but
Sure.
you want to be in Times Square.
Okay.
And you'll
Dre-
be there with your 5,000 closest friends.
And dress up or not dress up? You just want to be there.
So they do treat New Year's Eve as formal night.
Okay.
So they'll even modify, like Royal Caribbean has a certain, if there's this many days at sea, then you get this many formal nights,
Sure.
and those nights are going to be like night 2 and night 7
Right.
or whatever.
Sure.
They will modify that schedule to fit New Year's because that is a night they know people
Sure.
want to dress up and they
Yeah.
want to look nice for bringing in the New Year.
Well, I need
So-
to get on board.
It's a lot of fun. Last year was the college championship.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
Eric and I were at a sports bar on the ship.
Yeah.
They have a sports bar, by the way.
They do.
And we're
Yes.
watching this game, and we're like watching our clocks and our watches, and we're like, they need to wrap this up because we're gonna miss the big deal or whatever. Spoiler alert, we missed it because we were too enthralled with the game. But people at the sports bar went nuts. People inside the promenade went nuts. It was the whole ship was on fire. It was
Nice.
not literal fire, but
Sure,
like
No,
sure,
but
right.
yeah.
the energy was
But the energy was on
was
fire.
exactly where you wanted it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
So I have done a few of these New Year's cruises.
Yeah.
They're always like that.
Yeah.
They're always fun. We've done a New Year's cruise together,
We
didn't
did.
we?
Mhm.
Years
Yes.
ago. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember that. So
We did.
all
That's
that,
where I wore my tux and
okay,
some
so
others forgot theirs.
for those of you who are curious, so see what happened was
What happened was-
we brought our suit bag that had our suits in it.
Yes.
We checked. I saw the jackets,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
apparently the pants weren't in there.
It's all right.
So we had we only had part of a suit, so we weren't able to.
I wore my tux and I looked damn good in it.
Yes, you did.
I thought you
And
looked
so,
good next to me, and I enjoyed my
Oh,
pictures with
I
you.
look good next to you. Yes, I. Thank you. Thankfully, you were there to make me look good.
It was
Otherwise, I'd look miserable.
I was
look like a sharp dressed
I
man.
was Eric and I look like children. I was highly embarrassed, and I apologize. And this will not happen at all.
I was gonna-
Are you bringing your
Cool.
formal black?
Oh, I'm going to find something. Oh,
Hey.
I might recycle what I already have. Yes.
Okay.
I've got that fancy, sparkly black number. That might work good for New
I
Year's.
think so too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I got a
Champagne,
pair of black shorts I might throw on.
champagne flows freely.
Champagne wishes, caviar dreams.
I
don't
miss
see
his
there's
show.
No caviar, but anyways. So all that to say, please come out and join us. Jump on RoyalCaribbean.com. Talk to your travel agent. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you're Hyfield family, potential Hyfield family, a family member of a Hyfield family, you just
Or
heard
you
this.
just
You
heard
just heard
this,
this for the
yeah.
first time ever, and you're like, that sounds like fun.
And you're
Come
gonna
out and hang
hop
out
on
with us.
your,
We
your
are
travel agent's website and book
absolutely.
it yourself.
We
Sure.
do not have. It's not a structured event. We're not having a big awards night or anything. It's really just come and hang out with us,
Yeah.
get to know us on a one-on-one level,
Yep.
and we look forward to
I feel it
spending that
being
time
fluid.
with you. It's very fluid.
I feel like fluid. Like you're going to get a group of maybe some
Yes.
Hyfield drivers, and then they're going to go do their
Yep.
thing, and then
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
another,
There,
or vice versa.
there are no planning meetings for this cruise.
or planned.
Planning,
Yes.
like events.
Yes.
No.
No.
No one is coming together and having meetings
Correct.
and planning things that are happening on this cruise.
Or even
the only
events.
planning happening are between people
Yes.
and people
Yes.
and planning what they
I
want
have
to do.
seen that
Yes.
in some closed groups.
Being
and
on
that's
it-
fine.
That
Yep.
some people are planning to do excursions
That's
together.
fine. Go do your thing.
Yes.
That's right. Do you, boo?
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've not had any part of. I didn't even know that.
You're not
I didn't even know that.
excurging.
Well,
Excurting.
Excurting.
so my St. Thomas excursion I had booked that I was going to publicize and say, hey, here's what we're doing.
Mhm.
So let me get back up. There's no excursions in Florida, obviously. Perfect Day at Coco
But
Cay.
there are.
Are there?
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing one.
You can tour Cape Canaveral and the launch pads and stuff in Florida.
I'm not doing that.
I'm
So,
kidding.
Perfect Day at Coco Cay. I'm not. The island is so much fun without spending money. I'm not spending money.
I'm not
Just that
spending money.
simple. But I do know there's several people that are.
Sure.
We have people getting cabanas and
Mhm.
going in together and all that stuff. And
Yep.
that's exciting.
Sure.
And if you find someone doing that, great. Have fun.
Knock yourself
I
out.
am going to go to the Ice Cold Swim Up Bar and
Yeah.
enjoy a Bahama.
Ice cold beverage.
Obviously, when you're cruising, there's at sea. There's no excursions. St. Thomas,
Yeah.
I had an excursion, got canceled. That's that, and it has not been publicized, sadly. St. Kitts and Nevis, never been. Don't have excursion booked. Plan on really just walking around the city and seeing what I see.
Sure.
Day 6, St. Martin. I am
Bucket of beer. Nachos.
doing a bucket of beer, nachos at Mahu Beach. Come out and join us. It'll be fun. And then getting myself back to Orlando
Yeah.
International Airport and flying home.
Yep.
So there are lots of people who are friends who are putting stuff together, and it is a lot of fun for that. But I will not be doing that. Not out of like I don't want to do anything. Out of I plan on staying pretty low budget.
Hey, you don't have to spend money. Let's go with that.
No, you don't.
You don't have
You
to spend
can
money.
get
You
a
can-
non-balcony
that's-
room. Just come and have a good time. And then, like
Yes.
you said, Cocoa Beach, just enjoy. You could either walk
You-
the sand side of it or you can come to the pool side of it. Vince and I did that the first time we went. We kind of did a
We
little
did.
loop, and we're like, oh, we want to
We
end up.
found our spot by the pool.
We did. But I mean, again, and then like you were just saying, you know, and is it Phillipsburg? You're just going to
Yes.
go walk the town, you know? Now you
No,
could,
Phillipsburg. We're gonna go to the airport.
Oh, so
Or
the other
beach.
one.
Right.
But
But
yeah.
the other one,
St. Kitts.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
You're just going to
Yep.
walk around and explore and see. And I remember doing that on one of ours when we went on a cruise.
We did that
and
in Nassau, Bahamas.
Yes, the town was vibrant with color, and you could choose to spend your money on vendors or businesses, or you could just walk and have a good time.
Sure.
You know. So
Absolutely.
again, you don't have to spend money. You don't have to see excursions to see.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing everybody that's going to be out
Yeah,
there.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I can't wait. December can't come quick enough. Melissa Buttermilk,
Yes.
it has been a blast having you on the
Oh,
show.
thank you.
You should consider making an appearance every time Jerry is not able to
You should.
join
well,
us.
I hope
should.
he's always available to be here.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to when you stand in for me.
Okay.
It's
Well, if it needs
I
to
look
happen,
forward for when she stands in for me.
that would. It's possible.
where are you
So,
going?
She tries to lower her voice, and
She's like,
yeah.
"Hey now,"
Hey
and you're
now.
like,
No.
Hey now.
"Hey now, hey now."
Hey now.
You got to work on it. That's all right. You got
Hey,
time.
now.
You got time.
That's right.
Don't leave money on the table. Is that deep enough?
I don't know. I don't know, but it has been it's
Thank
been a
you.
lot of fun.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it. Vince, as always, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you
Thanks
to
for having
listeners.
me.
If you are listening to this and you like what we have to say, you like what we're going with this podcast, please share it with other people.
Yes, please.
Hit any button that's in front of you on your screen. If you're driving down the road and
Just
you're
wait.
listening to us on your
Wait till you
podcast,
stop.
wait till you stop and then
Yeah.
jump on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review. Share us on social media.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate all that. It does make a difference. Please, if you have a comment or if you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, there was one we were going to get to tonight. We weren't unfortunately able to. Lots of exciting news in trucking right now.
Crazy.
Crazy stuff
news.
happening. But we will love all that. You can leave us a comment on YouTube or Facebook at the or drop us a line at the outerbeltpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, there you go.
We do see those. They do steer the direction of how we the topics we talk about on this show and everything. And we appreciate all the likes. If you're listening to us and you just find us every week, hit that subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit that bell too. Get notified when we go drop a video. We drop our videos every Saturday morning, unless we do a live, in which case that's Sunday evenings. So
Eastern time.
Yep. So thank y'all so much for participating, hanging out with us. We wish you all safety in your travels. Stay safe. Make good decisions.
And don't leave money on the table, and get better, Jerry.
And keep those wheels a turning, in the words of Jerry.
There you go. Good night.